Let's dive into what happened. The plane was an Airbus A320 carrying 155 people. Just 3 minutes after leaving LaGuardia Airport, disaster struck. The aircraft lost power in both engines. Pilots faced a critical decision: land an aircraft in the bustling city or attempt a daring maneuver. Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger and First Officer Jeffrey Skiles worked swiftly. They assessed their options carefully. The decision was clear: ditch into the Hudson River. Timing was vital. As the plane approached the river, the crew prepared passengers for impact. They communicated calmly and efficiently, reassuring everyone on board. With precision, Sully aimed for a safe landing spot on the water. Upon touchdown, the plane glided onto the river's surface. Emergency slides deployed, and passengers evacuated quickly. Nearby boats rushed to assist and saved lives. All 155 on board survived that fateful day. What can we learn from this moment? First, training under pressure is crucial. Both pilots stayed calm, focused, and executed their training perfectly. Second, teamwork and communication saved lives. This incident underscores the importance of preparedness. Aviation safety measures improved after the event. Regulations and training intensified, aiming for safer skies. In summary, U.S. Airways Flight 1549 remains a remarkable lesson in crisis management. The heroism of the crew and the response from surrounding boats stood out. Want to learn more about aviation safety? Subscribe now for in-depth stories and insights. As the plane skimmed across the surface of the Hudson, Sully kept his eyes fixed ahead, feeling the adrenaline surge through his veins. He noted the visible distress on passengers' faces, yet their trust in him was palpable. In that fleeting moment before impact, he believed in one thing: they would all make it out safely. With the aircraft steady, Sully shouted commands to the crew, coordinating their efforts like a well-rehearsed play. First Officer Skiles focused on the essential task of ensuring that all passengers were following instructions. "Brace for impact," echoed through the cabin, a calm yet urgent directive that resonated with everyone on board. Sully's heart raced as he felt the plane touch the water, a slight shudder reminded him of their precarious situation. He swiftly ensured that his crew maintained order while watching the shoreline grow nearer, a beam of hope amidst the struggle. Water splashed against the fuselage, but the A320 floated, defying the odds. Outside, the vibrant colors of New York's skyline blurred in the background, a stark contrast to the gravity of their predicament. The moment they landed, every instinct kicked in, and Sully focused not just on survival, but on leading his passengers to safety. "This is it," he thought, "we'll get through this together." Sully's voice rang out again, quieter this time, yet filled with resolve. "Everyone, listen to me. We're getting out of this, but we need to move fast." As soon as the plane finally settled on the water, the tension that had gripped him eased slightly, but urgency replaced it. The emergency slides deployed, and one by one, passengers began to exit, the sudden rush of cold air invigorating their spirits. Crew members assisted those scrambling for safety, ensuring no one was left behind. Standing tall amid the chaos, Sully maintained a steady gaze, directing passengers toward the nearest exit as the surrounding boats sped closer, ready to lend a hand. In an extraordinary feat of leadership, Sully and his crew exemplified the essence of teamwork, collectively ensuring that every soul on board emerged from the icy grip of the Hudson unscathed. The day would be remembered not just for the remarkable ditching, but as a testament to human resilience and the unwavering spirit of survival. The roar of nearby engines grew louder as rescue boats approached, their crews ready to assist. Tension mingled with relief as passengers continued to evacuate, their eyes wide with disbelief but filled with hope. Sully's authoritative presence calmed the situation, encouraging those around him to keep moving. "You're doing great. Just keep going," he called out. The water gently rocked the aircraft, yet within that moment of fragility, his confidence radiated like a beacon. Each passenger who stepped onto the slide was met by a waiting boat, pulling them from the freezing water back to safety. The camaraderie amongst the crew was palpable, each member playing their part with precision, showcasing the power of cohesive teamwork in dire moments. Families reunited as they climbed aboard the boats, sharing tears of relief and joy, a vivid illustration of humanity's instinct to support one another. The air buzzed with gratitude, with the realization sinking in that they had not just survived, but triumphed together. Sully could see the disbelief in the faces of those who stood on the riverbank, witnessing the extraordinary rescue unfold before them. Each heartbeat resonated with the understanding that they had just experienced a miracle. As the last few passengers exited the aircraft, Sully felt a swell of pride mixed with relief, knowing they had achieved what many deemed impossible. The rescue boats, now filled with shivering survivors, made their way back to shore, their hulls cutting through the frigid waters with an urgency that inspired hope. Amidst cheers from onlookers, Sully and the crew remained focused, guiding the last passengers from the slides to safety while maintaining order. Then, as the final few climbed aboard a waiting boat, a soft murmur of gratitude spread through the throng gathered along the bank. The chilling reality of their ordeal gave way to the warmth of human connection and resilience. Sully's eyes scanned his crew, proud of the extraordinary teamwork that had unfolded in those critical moments. Each one had risen to the occasion, demonstrating the essence of leadership and courage. As the last of the passengers were safely aboard the rescue boats, Sully took a moment to breathe, his heart still pounding from the intensity of the ordeal. The sound of cheers from the crowd echoed across the water, a testament to the collective sigh of relief shared by everyone present. Yet, amidst the celebration, he remained acutely aware of the gravity of the moment. 155 lives had been spared due to quick thinking and unwavering resolve. With a nod of reassurance to his crew, Sully allowed himself a brief smile, knowing they had turned what could have been a tragedy into a story of survival and unity. The fading sounds of sirens and the sight of emergency responders rushing to assist emphasized the profound impact of their actions that day. As they watched the last survivors make their way to safety, Sully silently vowed to honor this moment, ensuring the lessons learned would ripple through every future flight, and inspire a culture of safety and awareness in aviation. As the noise of the crowd grew louder, heightened by sirens and applause, Sully felt a deep sense of gratitude wash over him. Each life saved represented not just survival but also the strength of human spirit in the face of adversity. He turned to Jeffrey, whose eyes mirrored his own feelings, relief swirled with pride, knowing they had navigated uncharted waters together. "We did it," Jeffrey said quietly, their bond strengthened through this shared experience. Sully nodded, their unspoken understanding solidifying the truth that they were not just pilots but guardians of hope. Every recounting of the day's events would emphasize teamwork and preparedness, lessons that would reverberate through the aviation world for years to come. The world watched in awe, and their story began to weave itself into the fabric of aviation history. As the echoes of celebration continued to resonate, Sully and Jeffrey stepped away from the crowd for a moment, allowing themselves to absorb the surreal reality of the day. Facing each other, their eyes locked, both men recognized the weight of their shared experience. "We couldn't have asked for a better crew," Sully remarked, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "Absolutely," Jeffrey replied, pride swelling in his chest. They stood united, knowing that their training and instinct had turned a dire situation into a demonstration of hope and resilience. As they turned back to face the shoreline, surrounded by grateful faces, the memory of every heartbeat during those critical minutes lingered, shaping the narrative of courage that would inspire generations in aviation. Their story was far more than just survival, it was a testament to trust, teamwork, and the indomitable human spirit. The river shimmered with light as rescue boats navigated closer, each filled with grateful survivors eager to recount their extraordinary tale. Sully and Jeffrey stood at the edge of the bank, absorbing the overwhelming gratitude radiating from the crowd. In the end, US Airways Flight 1549 became synonymous with courage and unwavering commitment to safety. The actions of Sully, Jeffrey, and the entire crew not only transformed a potential disaster into a miraculous survival tale but also served as an enduring reminder of the power of human resilience in the face of adversity. As the crowd continued to cheer and adrenaline coursed through their veins, Sully took a deep breath, reminding himself that the day was not just about survival but also about the lessons learned. Each moment on the river would echo through the aviation industry, redefining safety protocols. The cheers mingled with the sound of sirens, creating a symphony of gratitude and resilience. Sully and Jeffrey shared a knowing glance, acknowledging the bond they had forged through adversity. In that instant, they resolved to remain advocates for aviation safety, inspiring future generations to prioritize teamwork and quick thinking under pressure. As they stood together, a sense of fulfillment washed over them. They had not only saved lives but also embodied the true spirit of aviation. The thrill of the moment was palpable, yet it was coupled with a profound understanding of the responsibility resting on their shoulders as pilots. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the Hudson, Sully and Jeffrey stepped back momentarily from the acrid scent of jet fuel, and the electrifying buzz of the crowd. Their hearts swelled with pride, knowing they had navigated through a storm of uncertainty and emerged victorious. "Let's make sure this never happens again," Sully declared, determination lighting his eyes as he envisioned a future bolstered by improved safety measures. Jeffrey nodded in agreement, fueled by the resolve to harness their experience into actionable change. They exchanged a final glance, a silent promise to propel the aviation industry into a realm where safety was paramount. As they prepared to address the media, an overwhelming wave of gratitude washed over them, who they were had forever changed. Their story had transcended mere survival, it had become a beacon of hope and resilience, illuminating the path for those who would follow them into the skies. The crowd's excitement began to settle, but the impact of that day lingered like a gentle breeze across the water. Sully and Jeffrey turned toward the shoreline, where reporters and cameras awaited, representing not just the media but also a collective audience eager to hear their story. Standing tall, despite the exhaustion from the ordeal, both pilots understood the weight of their experiences. As they approached the microphones, Sully took a moment to gather his thoughts, feeling the gravity of their responsibility to convey the lessons learned. With a steady voice, he prepared to share a narrative that would go beyond the miraculous rescue, addressing the importance of training, teamwork, and the relentless pursuit of safety that defines aviation. He knew the world was ready to listen, eager to absorb the message that encompassed not only their survival but the potential for continued improvement in the face of adversity. As they approached the microphones, a hush enveloped the crowd, eager anticipation palpable in the air. Sully cleared his throat, ready to share a story that transcended mere survival. It was a powerful testament to the human spirit. "Thank you all for being here today," he began, projecting a calm yet commanding presence. "What we experienced was nothing short of extraordinary, it serves as a reminder of the importance of preparation and teamwork in aviation." He paused, letting his words sink in, before continuing. "Every person on board that flight played a crucial role in our survival, and I want to honor their bravery and resilience." Jeffrey stood beside him, nodding in agreement, his face reflecting the camaraderie that had developed through their shared ordeal. "This incident reinforces our commitment to safety," he added, his voice steady and earnest. "We must learn from this experience to ensure that such a situation can be mitigated in the future." The crowd remained silent, hanging on to every word, absorbing the significance of their message. Sully's heart swelled with pride as he glimpsed the faces of those who had endured the harrowing moments with them. "Together, as a community in aviation, we can pave the way for safer skies," he concluded, instilling a sense of hope and unity that resonated far beyond the riverbanks. As the sun dipped lower, the iconic skyline of New York City stood silhouetted against the sunset, a fitting backdrop for a day that would forever change the aviation landscape. The microphones cut off, but the echoes of their powerful message lingered, inspiring airline crew and passengers alike to prioritize safety in all future flights. As they stepped away from the microphones, the gravity of the moment settled in, a profound understanding of how one day could reshape the entire aviation narrative. Sully exchanged a glance with Jeffrey, both wearied yet invigorated by the enormity of what they had just conveyed. Around them, the crowd started to disperse, and the rhythmic sound of applause faded, replaced by the gentle lapping of water against the shore. It marked not just the end of a dramatic chapter but the beginning of new standards in safety protocols that would ripple through the industry. Together, they embraced the commitment to share their story and advocate for continuous improvement in aviation, ensuring that hope, resilience, and teamwork would always take flight. As they stepped down from the podium, Sully felt a renewed sense of purpose. He turned to Jeffrey, who was still absorbing the weight of their shared experience. "Our journeys as pilots have just begun," he said, the determination evident in his voice. "We must carry this story forward, for every future flyer." Jeffrey nodded, acknowledging the vision they both shared. The day had transformed them, binding their experiences into a narrative of hope that they would spread across the aviation community. The crowd gradually dispersed, but the atmosphere was thick with the electricity of change. They all understood that this day wasn't just a fateful landing, it was a pivotal moment that would spark a movement within the industry. Their mission would now be to advocate for tighter regulations and improved training that would honor the bravery of those passengers and the lessons they had learned. As they walked side by side, the skyline of New York City reflected in the river symbolized not just survival, but a brighter future in aviation, grounded in vigilance and unity. The applause faded, but the air remained thick with reflection and gratitude as Sully and Jeffrey took a few moments to gather their thoughts. They moved away from the crowd, feeling the weight of what had transpired hover between them. Today was more than just a successful emergency landing, Sully expressed, his tone heavy with meaning. "It's about the lives we saved and the changes we can inspire." Jeffrey stared thoughtfully at the water, commitment gleaming in his eyes. "Every passenger's story is a part of this legacy," he responded. "We owe it to them to ensure that this never happens again." They carried with them not only the memories of the incident but also the understanding that their actions could ripple through time, creating a safer environment in the skies for everyone. The vibrant colors of the sunset reflected off the water, fostering a profound silence amidst the chaos left behind. Sully turned to Jeffrey, determination igniting their spirits anew. "Let's make the most of this opportunity," he urged, envisioning the ripple effect their story could create. "Together, we can change the trajectory of aviation safety." Jeffrey nodded solemnly, understanding the weight of their responsibility. "We owe it to those passengers and the industry," he replied. They walked away from the riverbank with renewed purpose, ready to advocate for a future where such challenges would be met with resilience and preparedness, ensuring the legacy of U.S. Airways Flight 1549 would inspire safe skies for generations to come. As the sun sank lower, casting long shadows along the riverbank, Sully and Jeffrey made their way through the now dispersing crowd, their hearts still racing from the day's events. Many onlookers paused to offer words of gratitude, the emotional weight of their experiences binding them together in solidarity. "Thank you for keeping us safe," a woman said, her voice breaking slightly, as she held her child close, a mix of relief and joy illuminating her face. Sully nodded, absorbing each encounter, understanding the profound impact their actions had made beyond the aircraft. He felt pride swell not just for himself and Jeffrey, but for every crew member whose actions contributed to the miraculous outcome. "We did it as a team," he murmured to Jeffrey, who responded with a firm handshake, punctuating the bond they had formed. They both knew that the true measure of success went far beyond survival. It lay in their ability to learn, to grow, and to advocate for meaningful change in aviation. Together, they departed the scene, the iconic skyline of New York behind them, ready to champion a future steeped in safety and resilience, their experience shaping the culture of flight for years to come. As they walked away from the scene, the weight of gratitude and responsibility still heavy in the air, Sully turned to Jeffrey. "Our story isn't just a moment, it's a movement," he said, determination ringing in his voice. Jeffrey smiled, recognizing the potential they wielded to inspire meaningful change. "Let's make sure every airline crew remembers this day, carrying the lessons with them into the cockpit." Sully nodded, seeing how their experience could ripple through the entire industry. Together, they understood they needed to advocate for the continuous improvement of safety standards. The night settled over the Hudson, but their commitment to crafting a safer future in aviation glowed brightly with promise. As they moved away from the river's edge, the sheer magnitude of their day began to settle in, transforming from an adrenaline-fueled survival tale into a profound legacy. Sully and Jeffrey, driven by an unwavering resolve, recognized their newfound role as advocates for change within the aviation landscape. "We owe it to everyone on that flight to ensure this never happens again," Sully said, with purpose resonating in his voice. Jeffrey, alongside him, echoed the sentiment, adding, "Every life saved strengthens our commitment to safety, we must honor it." The stars began to twinkle above, illuminating their path forward with a hopeful glow, symbolizing the countless stories yet to unfold, each with the potential to inspire resilience and vigilance in the skies ahead. As night fell over New York City, Sully and Jeffrey stood side by side, gazing at the skyline, now a symbol of hope. The air was thick with the promise of change, and the lessons learned from Flight 1549 were poised to take flight. With each passing moment, they understood that their experience was more than just a story of survival, it was a call to action for the aviation industry. They vowed to continue advocating for safety improvements, ensuring that the legacy of their crew's courage would inspire and guide future generations of pilots. This unparalleled moment in aviation history would resonate, reminding all who fly that vigilance, teamwork, and preparedness are essential to navigating the skies. Together, Sully and Jeffrey committed to creating an environment where safety was paramount, forever transforming how the world views aviation. As they prepared to step into their new roles as safety advocates, Sully felt an overwhelming sense of duty. "We can't just focus on our past, we must influence the future of aviation," he told Jeffrey, determination evident in his tone. "Every policy change we advocate for could save lives." Jeffrey nodded, fueled by the urgency of their mission. "Let's use this experience as a catalyst for fostering a culture of safety," he agreed, envisioning workshops and seminars that would educate crews worldwide. The summer night framed their resolve, with the city lights glimmering like stars overhead. Together, they took their first steps toward transforming the aviation landscape, recognizing the profound impact their journey could have for countless passengers in years to come. Together, we'll ensure that this remarkable story becomes a blueprint for future generations, Sully pledged, a fire igniting within him as he and Jeffrey looked toward the horizon. Their journey was not merely a chapter in aviation history but a profound testament to the power of teamwork, training, and resilience. Sully and Jeffrey emerged as symbols of hope, committed to ensuring that the lessons learned would forever guide the skies towards safer journeys. The legacy of Flight 1549 would continue to inspire future generations, reminding everyone that even in